You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
So we're now joined with Jeremy and Janys, and we're going to be talking all about this year's promenade. But firstly, thank you once again for coming along to tell us all about how it's going.
Nice to be here.
Thanks, Daniel, yeah.
So firstly, when is promenade this year?
Promenade is running 3 days as per usual, Friday September the 20th to Sunday the 22nd. We're going to have a loose theme of Beowulf and the birth of English literature. There was a programme on the BBC called Inside Out which claims that it was very probably based here, though there's quite a lot of contention about that. The theme allows flexibility and it celebrates Sheppey's ancient past. So yes, we're doing all sorts of things.
So what sorts of things will be going on then?
There's going to be a Viking parade, Own with a Viking at Barton's Point and storytelling. There's going to be writers at East Church and Hearty. There's an art exhibition at Bluetown and possibly Castle Connections as well. The Gatehouse are going to be putting on a Saxon display. There's a family day at the Castle Connections. Photo exhibition at the Warden Bay Community Church. Bluetown are putting on talks and films and some drama excerpts. The Sheppey Little Theatre is going to have some talks and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and we're also hoping to have a reprise of the Beowulf walk around at Hearty. So what we want to do is to do something all over the island to suit every sort of person. Also, and Swale Arts Forum are also planning an Artists in the Wood type event at Barton's Point, and there's going to be a sheep trail.
We are at the moment talking all about this year's promenade right here at BRFM on the Monday Night Community Show. So we are at the moment talking all about this year's promenade. We're joined with Jeremy and Janys, and I know you next wanted to talk about the sheep trail.
Yeah, this year, last year we had a few sheep around. We called the sheep Sherland the sheep, or Shirley for short, and we just had them at the venues wherever there was something going on. But this year, Linda Brinklow and her group are going to organise a sheep trail, and there's going to be sheep all over the island. She's going to make a map and going to have like a questionnaire for kids to do, and people will be able to make sheep. They can join in by making the sheep. There's going to be some workshops. The academy is getting involved with making sheep as well, and various other groups are going to be making sheep. So if people want to get involved, they can contact us about making sheep, and they can be made out of anything. And then we need to sort of get a trail of where they're going to be in shops or at venues like libraries or in community centres, or, you know, if they're able to go outside, where they will be. We're also, there'll be details about it on the website, which is www.sheppeypromenade.org. We're going to be producing some leaflets when we get the programme of events. We'll have leaflets, but you can contact any of the participating groups direct.
So where can people find out more?
Well, as I say, there's the website, and if they contact the Heritage Centre or us at the theatre, then we can let you know. Or, of course, the Big Fish Shop. There'll be workshops in the Big Fish Shop as well. So contact Chris Reed in the Big Fish Shop.
So can people get involved then as well?
Yeah, well, for the parade, there's going to be costume workshops. So as well as the sheep workshops, there'll be costume workshops, and it's really easy to make Viking costumes out of a bit of hessian and some rope and what have you. And so once people have got their costumes, they'll be able to come in the parade on the Saturday. Like last year we had the Victorian parade. It will be a costume parade of Viking stuff. But also the events at Barton's Point, people can go in costume to those as well. So people will be able to get involved in that way.
So how is Promenade funded then?
Cool, that's a very good question. We usually do it on a very tight budget, and this year it's even more of a shoestring. We've got some money coming in from local councillors, some of their local engagement fund money. We've got some other potential funding in the pipeline, but that hasn't been finalised as yet. So yeah, if anyone out there wants to help us by donating, sort of any sort of small amount, amount even to help us. If they contact Janys Thornton, she will be able to gladly accept any donations. But yeah, it is very tight. It's all done on a shoestring. Obviously we've got some publicity that we've got to do on it. The website's paid for this year, but anyone, if they have got any money, that would be fantastic.
And don't forget, you can also give us payment in kind. Like, we're getting some sheep cut out by Pyramid Cutters. They cut us out a couple last year, and this year they're cutting us out 10. And the Academy are giving us some sheep as well that they are cutting out. So it's also not just money, but if people have got time that they can help us. We need somebody to help build a ship. If we're going to do a ship burning at Barton's Hill, we actually need somebody to build us a ship. So if there's somebody out there who's particularly talented at sort of carpentry, or even, like set design, because it doesn't have to be a real ship at the end of the day, then yeah, build us a ship and we can set fire to that, or anything else that people think, well, if I give this to the promenade people, they can sell it and raise some money. We're happy to do that. But materials for costumes, if people have got stuff that they want to give us for that, like old sort of sheepskinny bits, or bits of leather that they think can be reused, anything like that we can use as part of the costumes, so that can go to Chris Reed's big fish shop to be used for the costume parade as well. So it's not just money that we need, it's anything that people think we could use that might be useful. That'd be really, really helpful.
We are at the moment talking to Jeremy and Janys. We're talking all about this year's promenade right here on the Isle of Sheppey. So we are talking at the moment to Jeremy and Janys, and we're talking all about this year's promenade. And I was wondering, Jeremy, who is Omer the Viking?
A very good question, you might well ask. Omer does all sorts of things. He does storytelling, magic and reenactments. He makes his own costumes and his own weapons. And he's going to be at all sorts of events, especially at Barton's Point. We're hoping to do an Uphellier type ship burning in the evening to craft events, and the big fish will be acting out stories as well. And everyone can come in costume, and it's going to be a real fun day for the whole of the family.
So what next then?
We're hoping to use the Promenade brand for other cultural events during the year, not just limited to the Promenade weekend. And one of the things we're particularly keen to do is a Prisoner Awareness Week in November. We're working with the prisons. One of the patrons of Sheppey Little Theatre, Elizabeth Tolberg, she's one of the deputies, lieutenants of Kent. She's involved at the prison, and we're speaking with her to see when we can make that happen.
We are talking all about this year's promenade right here at the Monday Night Community Show on BRFM. So we've been talking to Jeremy and Janys all about promenade here at BRFM, but I know one of the things you wanted to cover was what's on at the Sheppey Little Theatre at the moment.
Right, over the month of August we've got lots of really, really interesting things on. On Friday the 2nd of August at 7:30 in the evening, we've got a talk by Dr. Philip Stone, who's the chairman of the Richard III Society, which is called Richard III, A Bloody Tyrant. Tickets are just £3. And it's going to be about Richard III, but also all about finding his body in the car park in Leicester. And Dr. Philip Stone works at Medway, not at Medway Hospital, at the Sheppey Community Hospital. And he had the head that they reconstructed from the skull in his office for a number of weeks until it went on tour. So that'd be really interesting, him talking about how they found the body. We've got a number of films coming up. In August, we try to have a children's film sort of every other month, and we've got Walt Disney's Jungle Book, which I saw as a little girl, and it's a timeless classic, and that's on Sunday the 11th of August at 2:30. And we've also got Peter Pan later this year, which we'll have on near Christmas, which was the first film I ever saw as a little girl, and afterwards I called myself Wendy for about 6 months and wouldn't answer to anything else. Friday the 16th of August we've got a professional theatre company coming in, and Dot Productions, and they're doing a children's play in the afternoon, Finding Alice, which is the Alice in Wonderland story. And then in the evening there's an adult play, which is Lady Windermere's Fan, and that's really good. We're really excited because, as you know, Daniel, last year we got a grant from the co-op, and we've been spending that on drama, and then the money we get from the tickets we put back in the pot. And so £1,000, which we got from the co-op, we've managed to put on about 6 productions. So that's really good, because each one costs us a couple of £300-400, and some of them are £600, and so £1,000 won't go very far, but because we're building up the audience, it sort of recycled that money. And so we're really excited about having a professional theatre company actually approach us and say, can we come to your theatre? And the last thing we've got in August is an audience with Bobby Bragg. And Bobby used to be a warm-up man on lots of TV shows, so he's going to be talking about his work as a TV warm-up man, and that should be really, really funny, and hopefully lots of people will come and see that as well.
So I was just wondering, before the both of you go, if you could just refresh us on the promenade when it is, and of course any useful contact details as well.
Right, it's September the 20th, 21st and 22nd. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there's events on every day. We've got our website, which is www.sheppeypromenade.org. That's the same website as last year, and Jeremy's been updating it and putting the new stuff on it as we get that information. And it's got a counter on there, so if you go onto the website you'll be able to see just how many weeks are left to the promenade. And of course, contact anybody on the committee. That's Chris Reed at the Big Fish, ourselves at Sheppey Little Theatre, or Jenny at the Bluetown Heritage Centre, Heather at the Healthy Living Centre, or James Apps, who's with the writers group. So any of those people are the key members on the committee, and contact them and they'll be able to tell you more, or put you into contact with somebody who might be able to help you with the particular things that you're interested in.
As always, thank you very much for coming along and telling us all about this year's promenade.
Thank you.